Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem the walk with us. Double honors unto the apostles at Great Millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Hakim across the world. Now, lucky for me, I don't know if you can still hear it in the background. This stupid ass beat. Some kind of fucking house music or tech music or whatever. I'm actually lucky because I would not have been able to scream over that one. But yeah, maybe you can still hear it, I don't know. Anyway, so what I want to talk about is a few scriptures right here, because I've been, talking to a few people and I've seen a few things, and then I already made this video a while ago, but it's like there's always somebody new that don't know about it, or that didn't hear it, or that you can just go up in it again, because that's what it is about. This truth, Lord willing, it's about repetition and repeating stuff, for the ones that have not heard it or whatever, or the ones that want to get up in it a little bit more with details and stuff like that. But even though the sit downs, the videos that I do when I'm at home, they actually are better because I can go up in different scriptures and stuff like that without really needing to try, because I got the computer right there, so you can find these scriptures fast. Anyway, so it says right here, Job chapter 9, right? So I'm gonna just get up in it. Job chapter 9 verse 24. And by the way, we are in the end right now. Everything is speeding up, everything is going down. Esau is going to blame the AI and all that there. And if you check history, he blamed the rats for the bubonic plague or whatever the plague. He plagued those rats. He blamed those rats, and then he blamed just different diseases. He kept on blaming on animals or insects. But to come to find out, he was actually doing it. He was doing stuff. Did you know that there's a tick that sucks blood, right? And that tick, never before it was seen in history, in the history of history itself, it was never there. But as soon as Esau got the opportunity to be able to splice genes and stuff like that in the laboratorium, what did they do? All of a sudden, this tick exists. And you know what this tick does when it bites you? It actually makes you allergic to meat. You can look that up if you want to. I will tick. I'll put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. Hey, shit. Hey. Okay, that one. It's called the... I'm not even going to try and pronounce that shit. Anyway, I'll put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. Some alpha-gal syndrome. It's called alpha-gal syndrome, but the animal is... Well, the insect is called another name, or whatever you want to call it. I just think it's a word. Anyway, I'll put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. But anyway, so Esau is going to blame now. He's going to blame the AI, talking about they're doing this stuff. Meanwhile, he's the one that programs it. Very, very cunning, very deceiving. But that is that's what the devil does, which is funny in itself. Twister. Okay, let me go back to the book of Job. Right, Job chapter 9 verse 24. Now a lot of people think this is talking about Esau. It's not. It's actually talking about the Most High. But I'm gonna read it in context, meaning all of it, so that you can see it's talking about the Most High, and he's the one that set up Esau. So, Lord willing, what I do is I'm trying to get up in the scriptures, trying to find precepts in order to further and better, Lord willing, explain stuff, right? You call me long-winded, and just get away from me then, or vice versa, I'll get away from you. Anyway, some people like it. That's why you have different type of teachers, in Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahushua. a lot of people say that they are in Yahawah, Basham, Yahawah, but hey, we're gonna find out who's who and what is what eventually. So, yeah, Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. By whom? By the Heavenly Father. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? The Most High is the one that covereth the faces of the judges, because he's the one that told us in Jeremiah 17 verse 4 that he's going to make us forget our inheritance, that we are Israelites. So that's one. But if you go to the book of Ezekiel chapter 28 verse 14, it says, Thou art, now this is talking about the ancient prince of Tyre, because he was decked out with all the stones of fire, which are the gemstones above that, a verse above that. Ezekiel 13 and 28 and 13, but I'm reading 14, right? I'm gonna read 14, but in 13 and above and stuff like that. Yeah, let me see. No, not above. Actually, 16. Sorry, 16 talks about the stones of fire, but that's mentioned in the book of 13. And if you know how gemstones are created, if you look it up, you see it was created by lava, and also heat, molten stone, and stuff like that. Also earthquakes, just like how you pressurize diamonds, and then you make them. Well, they can make them nowadays with dynamite and all that type of stuff, dropping them in the oceans of the planet, don't matter where, but a deep one, and then they let off dynamite and stuff. So some stuff like that. You can look it up if you want to, but you can make diamonds now with pressure and stuff like that. But still, the gemstones are made with fire. You can look that up. I'll put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. Wait, let me type it in so I don't forget it, because I will. I'll definitely forget it. And the other one was okay, fuck it. Right, so Job 9 and 20. Oh yeah, Ezekiel chapter 28 and 14. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth. So he's the one that covereth. But that was the ancient prince of Tyre. At that time, he covered the whole land with his might. He had the power. He took everything over. And I have a map to show you where he actually ruled. And nowadays Esau is the modern prince of Tyrus, because he's the one that got the world on deck. And you can see that by, for example, the Suez Canal and the Panama Canal. I've been talking about the Panama Canal for a long time now, and you can see that he now owns. He wants to go to war for that place over there. There's a video that I need to watch about the fight for the Panama Canal, because it's like a few $1 million a day. It's like, wait, Suez Canal is $15 million a day with the shipments and stuff like that, and Panama Canal is in that same category. I think a little bit more actually, because I was looking it up for a while, and they don't really give the daily revenue. They just give the yearly. So one source said 9 billion and another source said 4 or something like that. I don't know, man. They're playing around with that one, snake tongue type. But anyway, it's all good, man. But we know that they are now the modern day ship merchants and stuff like that. Along with Ishmael, of course, which is the Suez Canal, and along with Moab. No longer it's a ship of Tarshish, which is Japhet, and stuff like that. But nowadays, just like I said before, history doesn't repeat itself 100%, but it rhymes. It repeats itself to a certain degree. It repeats itself, but you have different key players in the midst. For example, Joel chapter 3, it's talking about the slavery that we went into the Japhet, under the Japhetic people and stuff like that. We were sold onto them. But nowadays it's talking about Esau, So yeah, that's that part concerning history doesn't 100% repeat itself, but it rhymes. Right, so let me go back to where I was, which is Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 14. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so. So, in Job chapter 9, verse 24, it's the Most High that actually allowed Esau, not even allowed, not just allowed. He allowed it, but not just allowed. He set him up to be able to do that. He's the one that set him up to be able to do that and stuff like that. You know? Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so. Thou wast upon the holy mountain of the Heavenly Father. Now, if you read it as how it is written, but of course, you know, you have scriptural breakdown, spiritual breakdowns, and you have the physical breakdown as how it is written. Well, the holy mountain is talking about the holy mountain is talking about wait, let me read it for you. Psalms 48. Psalms 48, verse 1. Great is the Most High, and greatly to be praised in the city of our power. In the city of our power, right? In the mountain of his holiness. Verse 2. Beautiful for situation. The word situation is elevation. Means elevation. Beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion, on the sides of the north, the city of the great king. Now, if you go to Genesis 22 and verse 2, and he said, take now thine son, thine only son, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains, which I will tell thee of. So Abraham got sent to the land of Moriah, which is in Jerusalem. But he got sent to the land of Moriah, and he got sent to a specific mountain in the land of Moriah. So let me read it again. Genesis 22 and 2. And he said, that he is talking about the Most High, of course. And he said, take now thy son, thine only son, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains, which I will tell thee of. And then jump to 2 Chronicles chapter 3, verse 1. Then Solomon began to build the house of the Lord at Jerusalem in Mount Moriah, which is the same mountain where Isaac was nearly sacrificed. Right? So 2 Chronicles 3 and 1. Then Solomon began to build the house of the Lord at Jerusalem in Mount Moriah, where the Heavenly Father appeared unto David his father, in the place that David had prepared in the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. Now, in the book of 2 Samuel chapter 24, his name is different. And in this one, it's, where is it again? It's 1 Chronicles 21 or something? Let me see something. Yeah, 1 Chronicles 21. If you read that chapter, you will see where King David bought it from him and dedicated that unto basically Yahawah Bashem, not basically, but Yahawah, the Most High Yahawah. And then later on, his son, King Solomon, he built the temple upon there, which is how Yahawah Bashem Yahshai works. Everything is done spiritually and connectively, and everything is connecting. That's why back in the days, my cousin used to say, next no fault. He always used to say, nothing is wrong. And I hated that shit, man. I was like, what the fuck you talking about, man? You know? But he cool cat. But but then later on, I was like, yeah, he's right. He's actually right. Everything that happened is Yahawah Bashem Yahshai. But he didn't say it like that. I forgot what it was at that time. Something happened. And then he said, like, man, ain't nothing wrong. You know? I was like, shut the fuck up, man. Something is wrong. You know? Everything is wrong. I forgot what we was doing, but something went wrong. It was a long time ago. This time I was in Suriname. Basically, kind of living there at that time. But yeah, I was just living there. chat. Right, so going back to Ezekiel chapter 27, right? And don't fall, man. Ezekiel 28, 14. So he was, and if you read about the how you call him, the Prince of Tyre, he was actually busy building. Let me get that. Helping to build. Well, 1 Kings chapter 6, 1 Kings chapter 7, 1 Kings chapter 8 shows you that Huram or Hiram, it depends on if you read Chronicles, it said Huram, and the other one it says Hiram, which is the Prince of Tyre, his name. He was the one that supplied King Solomon with all these things to build the temple for Yahawah Basham Yahushai. And it is mentioned in 1 Kings chapter 5 also, yeah. 1 Kings 5, 6, 7, and 8. And it says right here, 1 Kings chapter 5, verse 6. Now therefore, command thou that they hew me cedars, or cedar trees out of Lebanon, and my servants shall be with thy servants. Because King Solomon is talking to the Prince of Tyre right now. And unto thee will I give hire for thy servants according to all that thou shalt appoint. For thou knowest that there is not among us, the us is talking about the Israelites, for thou knowest that there is not among us any that can skill to hew timber like unto the Sidonians. And the Sidonians are the Canaanites, of course. You can read that in the book of Genesis chapter 10. And so it's talking about that and that day. But he was up on that holy mountain at that time, and he wanted to start to sit upon the holy mountain because he thought himself to be greater than the children of Jacob. But in the beginning, he was not like that. He was actually, basically not well. He was acknowledging that those are the children of Yahawah Basham Yahushai. Later on, he got too proud, and the Most High, humbled him. But now, fast forward to Esau, he also thinketh himself to sit upon the sides of the north, which is where the temple was, which is the name of the temple, where the Ark of the Covenant was in. And he thinketh himself to sit upon the sides of the north, upon the holy mountain of Yahawah Basham Yahushai, because in the physical form, it's talking about the temple. But in the spiritual form, it's talking about the nation of Jacob. The entire, well, it's the elect, but yeah, we as a nation of Jacob, we are that holy mountain. But among my people are found wicked men, so yeah, they are not the holy ones. But even though as a nation, they are the chosen among all people, and amongst the chosen people, you have the elect, the elected ones that are chosen from within the chosen. The Jacob of Jacob. Or as it is written, the Israel of Israel, right? The Yasharallah of Yasharallah. But let me go back to where I was. Now it says right here. But yeah, you can read 1 Chronicles chapter 2 also. I just hit it up with just to let you see. 1 Chronicles chapter 2 verse. No. It's 2 Chronicles, sorry. Good that I looked it up. 2 Chronicles chapter 2 verse 3. Yeah. And Solomon sent to Huram the king of Tyre, saying, as thou didst deal with David my father, and didst send him cedar to build him an house to dwell therein, even so deal with me. So he's the one that provided King Solomon with the materials for the temple and stuff like that. And if you think about it, in the time of Zerubbabel, another king actually supplied us with the equipment to build the temple, which is the King Cyrus. Cyrus did that. But he was set up by the Most High also. In the book of Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45 shows you that he was actually set up by Yahawah Basham Yahushai in order for him to basically break us free from Nebuchadnezzar, of the king of Babylon at that time, and then allow us to go back to the land of Jacob, the land of Canaan, actually, well, the land of Israel. It's all three are correct. So now going back to Job chapter 9 verse 24. Well, sorry, Ezekiel. Ezekiel 29 and 14. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so, and was upon the holy mountain of the heavenly Father. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire, because he's the one that was decked out with all the riches and glory upon the planet Earth. Now, if you read 2 Chronicles chapter 2, you will see that he had all the gold, silver, and stuff like that, and King Solomon went to him to gather Canaanites, because they was the greatest. The Canaanites, the Sidonians especially, were the greatest. And by the way, Tyre is Sidon. The place Tyre is not a nation. The place Tyre is actually a name of a city, because the sister city to Tyre, to Sidon, sorry, the sister city to Sidon is Tyre. So they're Canaanites, right? But yeah, anyway, so the Canaanites are the ones that were heavily skilled in hewing artifacts, carving out stuff. Just like in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, before the flood, you had people that was skilled, man, in hewing stuff, like carving stuff like stone and stuff like that. And very powerful. The Mizraim had it too. That's why you see them Pharaoh statues, and just the Mizraim statues, you be looking at them like, how the hell did he do that? Well, they had that skill. They had that knowledge. They were 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And that was only talking about the Canaanites. That was not even talking about the Egyptians. Like Mizraim wasn't even talking about them. But they were great too. And they were giants too. But that's another story. So going back to Ezekiel chapter 28 verse 14. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so. Thou wast upon the holy mountain of the heavenly Father. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. And nowadays, you can break that down spiritually, because the stones, basically, the gemstones, are actually the Israelites. They're the stars also. And then you have the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, that ancient one. He also wanted to sit upon the sides of the north. And that represents us. But the true sides of the north in the physical form is talking about the temple, where the temple was in the land of Moriah. Now, one of the reasons why I'm talking about this is because when people read these scriptures, or they hear other breakdowns and stuff like that, they don't fully understand what is actually being said. That's why, me personally, if you know the past, then you know the future. If you know where you that's I didn't say anything. If you know where you're coming from, then you know where you're going. So if you know these ancient scriptures, that's why you shouldn't be dealing. Well, you can do whatever you want, but I would advise you, don't be following people that have only the Old Testament, because they don't know about the New. And don't follow people that follow only the New Testament, because they don't know about the Old. You need to read the Old in order for you to better understand the future. Because if you read the future, which is the New Testament, for example, if you read that, then what will you get? You will start to think like the Most High came for everybody up on the planet Earth. That's not the case. He came only for the Jacob descendants, and in the midst of them, he only came for the elect of them. Of the chosen nation, he came to look for the elect of the chosen. Right, so let me go on. Right. Let me say something. Yeah. So that's why, me personally, I actually really like the book of Ezekiel chapter 28, because it's vast, man. It's past, present, future. It's just all over the place. It's different nations, even though it says one. You can apply it to Esau nowadays, but it actually was talking about the ancient prince of Tyre, the Canaanite. So it's a lot of meat up in there. I really like this chapter, and there's another chapter that has a lot of meat that you could just. It had fish grainets, fish bones actually, fish bones, man. The ones that stab you when you eat it. Hey, look, you can't give a baby that one, you're gonna die. And that's gonna be on you. Hey, you shouldn't give babies fish to eat with bones in them. You break off the flesh, feed them like a little baby. You know? But anyway, so now going back to Job chapter 20, chapter 9, verse 24, it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. By whom? The Most High. Ye covereth the faces of the judges thereof. And in Ezekiel chapter 28, he says, I have set thee so. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so. So you can also break that down with going back to the garden and stuff like that. But that's another breakdown of it. So it's different. Like I said, it's past, present, past, past, past. It's before flood. Hey, it's crazy. That chapter is very crazy. It's very beautiful. That there's the Most High is vast. It's like water that it's never stagnant, man. It always finds a way. If you have a little crack in the house, right, in the wall, and then water beats down upon it, doesn't even have to beat. It just dribbles down upon it. You better fix that crack, because it's going to break the shit out that crack, and it's just going to burst through, boom. Yeah, that's the scriptures, man. That's the power of Yahawah B'Hashem Yahawah Shai. You know what I'm saying? Yahawah B'Hashem Yahawah Shai. Right. So Job chapter 9. So now I'm going to read the whole chapter to show you that it's talking about the Most High, and He is the one that allowed Esau to be able to cover up the world, the world with everything. He covers everything. He's a liar. Let me read it again for just Ezekiel 28 verse 14. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so. The Most High is the one that allowed him to be the anointing cherub that covereth. And like I said, if you check out the map, that the land that Esau wants to make it seem as if the Prince of Tyre was some kind of Caucasian dude, but he was not. But anyway, so it's not with pictures and stuff like that. I'm talking about the landscape. The ancient Prince of Tyre, he was a Canaanite. But anyway, he had power over a whole large portion of land. And Esau has bigger than that now. Oh yeah. Let me show you the maps. I put all the empires, right? Damn, can't even type. All the empires upon the planet Earth, they all had greater portions than the Jacob descendants. If you look at the portion of Jacob, it's a little small. It's actually from Euphrates to the Brook of Egypt, which is before you enter into Egypt. Let me show that. And in the time of King Solomon, he actually had fulfilled that blessing. He also and also it goes all the way to the place of Eleth, which is the Red Sea. There's two Red Seas. It's actually one thing that splits into two. The one goes to Mizraim, and the other part of the Red Sea goes to Esau. And I can show you right here. I did other videos about it, but you might say that, hey, what are you talking about, man? Well, it shows you right here in the book of First Kings. Actually, it says right here, First Kings chapter 9 verse 26, and King Solomon made a navy of ships in Ezion Geber, which is beside Eloth, on the shore of the Red Sea, in the land of Edom. So you had a Red Sea in the part of Esau, and then you had the other Red Sea in the part of Mizraim. Like I said, it's a big sea. Huh? Yeah, it's a big sea. It's a big sea. And then you have different parts of it that go. One goes to Mizraim, one goes to Esau. Anyway, enough of that. So going back to over. Right. So he's that anointed cherub that covered, and now Esau is that anointed cherub. And a lot of people might say like, well, so wait a minute. So he's an angel? Well, Malachi was called an angel in First Ezra chapter 5 or something, or 4. Maybe First Ezra chapter 1, verse 40. One of those two. Or maybe Second Ezra. It's an Ezra. So I'm not gonna look for it right now because I'm gonna forget where I was at because I already forgot. So I'm gonna leave that there. He was called an angel, and the word angel goes into the word messenger. So and oh yeah, let me get this one because Isaiah 45 is that chapter when I said that Cyrus actually was sent by the Most High in order for him to go and free the Israelites. So Isaiah 45 and 1. Thus saith Yahawah to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand but it says he have holden. But it says this. Thus saith Yahawah the power. Thus saith Yahawah to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden, to subdue nations before him, and I will loose the loins of kings, to open before him the two left gates, and the gate shall not be shut. That's the same blessing he gave Esau. Esau is the one that actually, you can't fuck around with him. He's the one that opens doors and shuts them. He shuts a lot of doors for these wicked jakes, you know, by feeding them Pan-Africanism, feeding them everybody comes from this Hamite African black woman. He shuts up the kingdom for these people. You know, they ain't gonna get it. But Lord willing, if Yahawah Bashem Yahshai is with you to the end, not just for a little small season until it comes out that you was, you know, using plastic. Well, you let your girl use plastic. Because he was talking Yahawah Bashem Yahshai too. I don't want to mention him actually. It's kind of funny. But yeah, you know, until the end. Not in the beginning you praise Yahawah and then all of a sudden you don't. Then, well, if you really believe in Yahawah Bahasham Yahushai, then you would know like the spirit already left him since there. Since he started to deny. He started to deny Paul. Then he started to deny Yahushai. The Most I said he's gonna take little bitty away from you. Once you start denying Yahawah Bahasham, and me, I know where I learned from. So what I think is these guys started to hate. These guys started to fight against them and shit like that. I'm like, nah, I'm just remember this song, Walk This Way? Fuck it. I got that big ass cross, but I hope it's big. I'm just fucking walk, man. I ain't fighting. You're fighting not against the truth. If you do, you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out. You're gonna find out. But anyway, so he's anointed. Cyrus was anointed by the Most High. Ishmael got his blessing by the Most High. Esau got his blessing by the Most High. So it is not far-fetched. It's not, hey, what's that talking about? See, the Most High like Cyrus. Well, he blessed Esau too. That don't mean he like him. He blessed Ishmael too. That don't mean he like him. He just blessed him. He blessed Ishmael for Abraham's sake, by the way. Because Abraham was feeling kind of sad about his son, you know. Because he didn't know that he was going to get another one. But anyway, so back to the book of... yeah, I'll get to that everything. But let me just speed it up. Looking at the time. Okay. Romans... No. Damn. Job chapter 9, verse 1. Then Job answered and said, I know it is so of a truth, but how should man be just with the Most High? So now Job is talking about, you know, being just with Yahawah Bashem Yahashai, right? I know it is so of a truth, but how should man be just with the Most High? Verse 3. If he will contend with him, he cannot answer one out of 1,000. If the Most High asks you, if you contend, if you think you're gonna question the Most High, if he asks you a question, you can't just out of 1,000 questions, you can't even answer one. You know, like where does the wind come from? It's done. You can just sit back and enjoy the ride that he provides for you by laying down the path that you should walk. And it should be a hard one. But it's not that you should go out there and seek destruction from your errors or whatever, or just in life itself. So, seek not destruction, and something like that. Seek not destruction. So don't seek a hard path. If you see an easy way, be like that wise steward in the book of Luke 16. Be like that wise steward. When you see something, be like, I'll take that one. Because the scripture said, use the world as not abusing it. You know? And I always give this example concerning use the world as not abusing it, which is, for example, you have, let's say you know a brother, right? Or maybe even a woman, even a daughter of Jacob, right? A daughter of Israel. When I say daughter of Israel, you should know what I'm talking about. Not no hoe ass, kank ass, bitch ass, just the daughter of Jacob. She's real, sisterly, I should say. I wanted to say brotherly, but sisterly, right? And or brother or a sister, right? But using them and abusing them is two different things. Let me get to the point. The point is that, let's say one of the brothers is always, when you ask them money, they will just give it out like that, right? And then you're gonna start abusing it. You're gonna start keeping, you abusing this world. You know what I'm saying? But let's say you down on your luck. You tried everything. You've been struggling for a long time and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, you hear like, hey man, you need to get out the house and stuff like that. And then you could go to that brother like, hey, or sister like, hey, and then that person will help you and stuff like that. But through the power of Yahawah, right? But that's use in the world. That's not abuse in the world. And if you take advantage of another, that's abuse, right? So okay. So going on. So let me go further forward. Now, Job chapter 9, verse 3. If he will contend with him, he cannot answer him one of a thousand. He is wise and hard and mighty in strength. Who had hardened himself against him and had prospered? Which is in the book of Romans chapter 9. I forgot which verse, but it says that he is the one that hardened your heart. Because Pharaoh, he wanted to let the Jacob descendants go. He's like, fuck it, take them. And then the Most High was like, nah, I'm gonna punish you a little bit more. Fight against it. See, don't fight against the truth. But he couldn't stop it. He couldn't. Let me read that for you. Romans chapter 9, verse. Let me get it here, because it's not raining anymore. I don't want my book to get wet, because it's gonna mess it up. So because it was raining, I turned into an iPad. God, I hate that shit. I hate it. Fucking iPad babies. I fucking hate that shit. Anyway, Romans chapter 9, verse 15. For he said unto Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth. You don't run the show. You don't want nothing anyway. You want, but you ain't gonna get it. You can want what you want. I want superpowers right now. I ain't getting it. Anyway, so it says right here, Romans 9:16. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the heavenly Father that showeth mercy. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee. Sorry. Romans chapter 9, verse 17. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up. How did he raise him up? Well, Pharaoh was already great, but he didn't have ownership of all the land. He had let's say a splice, right? And then a splice is 100%. Just an example. And then Pharaoh only had 20%. Just an example. Maybe 30. And the rest of the people had just, whatever. 1%, 5%, whatever. Okay. Then Joseph came, and what did he do? He set up the food, and then therefore the people of the land, they were so famished of the hunger, they started to sell their land. So first they sold their land, and then he had more land. So from the 10% that he had, or whatever the hell I just said, 30%, I don't know. From the percentage that he had, he started to get more because they started to sell their land and stuff like that. So now he gained 50% of the land, while the rest of the people, maybe had something, I don't know, just an example. And then after that, they started to sell themselves. So they started to come and work for him. So now he gained the people and he gained their land. And then he started to make people work for him, as in, you be my farmer, you be my gardener, and this and that. You be those type of things, what rich people do. They got you fixing up the garden or something, or cleaning the pool. How about that? Cleaning the pool cleaners. They need them. You see, the rich, they do need the poor. They need you to clean their pool or their electric wire stuff behind the house, or to build the mansion in the first place. Do you think rich people grab a tool and build the mansion for themselves? They're too stupid for that. They need you. They need the poor. They need people that know stuff. They just got the money, and then people will sell themselves like, okay, I'm gonna make this for you. Okay, anyway, so basically that's what Pharaoh did. So that's what it's talking about here. For this same reason, I have. Let me read it again. Romans 9:17. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose, for the purpose, have I raised thee up. Why? I wanted to make you greater than you already was, so that now a lot of people will be like, damn, how the hell did the Most High take him down? Esau did that. What did Esau do? Here in the Netherlands, for example, you had people that had their own land. They had their own land. They don't have it no more. And if you do have your own land here in the Netherlands, you got to pay taxes, property taxes. Where the fuck did that come from? He set it up. And you know how he can actually maintain it? Hey, fuck. Yeah, man. Yes, man. Yes, man. Yo. And you know how he could actually maintain it? He can maintain it because he pays the police officers. Because he makes sure that everybody is kind of poor, don't have no money. I'm not talking bad about poor people. I'm not talking bad about it. Because the word it's like a negative word, actually. But anyway, people that, the lower class, let's just say that one. You do have dirt poor people. That's the other one. But I wasn't actually talking about that. I was talking about the low class. The poor people are the people that can't afford anything and stuff like that. But then you have another category of poor people, which is the ones that don't have a home or something to cover themselves with the element against the elements. But you have poor people that eat out of garbage cans and stuff like that. So you have different categories of poor. So I shouldn't just put them all together. That's why I said shouldn't use that word actually. Basically low class. So the low class people are the ones that work for the what was it? For the same purpose I raised thee up. So that's what that's what Esau did. He set up basically the same way. He set it up the same way as the ancient Mizraim did back in the days, which is first and foremost buy their land, because if he sells you if he comes to you and you have land, right? You're a farmer, whatever. So you got it from your ancestors and it was passed on down and stuff like that, right? And he's an Edomite, you an Edomite. You're gonna grab your gun and stuff like that. He will pay officers, people, regular people, and deputize them so that now they can come with the law and shoot you and take your land. Basically, those type of things he did. And or he did this. He came. Damn, I think the thing is melting in my eye again. He came and he offered a certain amount of money for your farm or your land, and you thought to yourself, like a lot of people did do that. They thought to themselves like, damn, I'm just selling, fuck it. But they don't think about the future. But the future is that now he's gonna have all the farmland, and therefore he will be able to plant GMO food for you instead of having normal farmers and stuff like that. Normal people that actually do these things and are actually dead set against that. But they can't control it no more because he owns the land and he enforces it by the law with the wicked decrees that he has. And we in the time right now where Esau is being exposed with everything and anything in existence. Yahweh Bashem Yahawah said so. And he's going to make sure that his people will know it. You know, he might take you and use you for a little moment and then spew you out because you was not cold, neither hot. You know, it was a iHaveSetTheeSo. Because the Most High said, neither you're cold, you are neither cold, nor neither hot, so I'm going to spew you out. And he did that to many other people before him. And after him, he will do the same thing too. Just pray to Yahweh Bashem Yahawah every day. If you forget, I forget the last. Didn't do it on purpose. Not doing it on purpose. Get stuff. But anyway, as soon as I remember it, I'm on it. You know what I'm saying? All right. Shit. Like, anyway, let me go on. Romans chapter 9, verse 17. For the script, don't fly away now. For the scripture said unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee. That's how he showed his power. He made him great. And that's the same thing that he does with Esau too. He made Esau greater than he already was. Esau accumulated the land. Esau has all these riches right now. And with riches come great power. Because you can buy stuff. You can buy people cheap. You can make them do things. That's what they do in the Hollywood. They make them do things. They start out, for example, not liking, you know, getting something up the behind as a man, and then later on they start liking it. That cousin from Russell Simmons said that. You know, you have many of these things. They turn out greater demons than the Edomites that taught them. Puff Daddy is one of them. You know, but he most likely had it in him already. And even if he did not have it in him, they sure as hell brought it out. They sure as hell brought it out. I always looked at him like he a Cushite, because he looked like a Cushite. If you seen a Cushite around here, you will see that they all have that Puff Daddy face. They look like him. I looked at him like, that's a fucking Cushite. I always thought that. And he even went to Ethiopia and then he made a video and then he said, you don't know me no more. So then it was solidified like, this guy's a Cushite. But hey, whatever the fuck, man. Even if he is an Israelite, even if he is a Cushite, don't fucking matter. I'm just using him for an example. Doesn't matter. So what? So what? No more the Canaanite in our midst, right? Cushite too. Anyway, so it says right here, but Jake does it too. So it's not that I'm trying to defend him like he's a Cushite, he's not one of us. No. Jacob descendants are doing these type of things too. But anyway, Romans 9 and 17, the rest of it says, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Yeah, because when he took down Pharaoh, everybody was like, how the hell did he take him down? He was great. He had power. He had his military. He had all that there. He had the money. And therefore, he can enlist and enroll people. And the people will willingly enroll themselves into their armies because of the money, the power, the might. Just like Mizraim back in the days. Well, it says it right. Oh, let me get that scripture. It says it in the book of Isaiah 33. Isaiah 31. Okay. Damn it, man. This shit's melting. I'm melting. Melting in my eye. Damn. I think it's Isaiah 33. No. Isaiah 31. Isaiah 31? Yeah. It says right here, Isaiah 31 and 1. Woe to them that go down to Mizraim for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots. Nowadays, you got the Jacob descendants, they going down to Esau and his military because of the might. The military might and the military weapons, the military vehicles. You know, they get aroused by that or some type of thing. You know what I hate? I hate loud fucking sounds. So if you got a car and you bring boom, boom, boom on it. So, and motorcycles, I hate that fucking shit, man. Can't stand that shit, man. I can't wait till the time comes. So we're gonna kill your cars, man. We're gonna kill all your fucking vehicles, all the motherfuckers that make loud sounds and all that type of shit, put your ass to death. You're gonna be silent around me. But anyway, so it says right here, and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. So that's that war type of thing that they put their soul up in it, man. They really lust for it, man. You know, you got them Jacob descendants, they really lust for that fucking loud ass goddamn motorcycle shit. I'm like, yo, why don't you shut the fuck up, man? You're being loud. I hate that song. But anyway, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord, because they put their trust up in Esau. And they did that back in Egypt, and nowadays modern Egypt is Esau, America, Europe, stuff like that. I truly can feel it. I don't need that. Oh man. As soon as the sun, damn. A little bit of sun melts that shit. Damn. I keep on doing it, man. Anyway, so yeah. So now the Most High set up Esau to be this powerful entity, and everybody they can't fight him. Nobody can. Military wise, you're gonna lose. And therefore, when Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahashai coming and he actually takes him down, everybody gonna be like, damn, so he's greater than him. Yeah, that's how the Most High name is gonna get magnified, because he's gonna take the top nation. I wanted to say devil. He's gonna take the top heathen. I want to say devil, heathen, all that he saw. Shit, all in together now. Whatever. He's gonna take the top Edomite, the top nation, sorry, which is Esau. He's gonna take him down, man. Down. He's gonna make sure he's gonna stay down too, with the feet upon his neck, hand in his neck, feet in his face. You know, so they can get acquainted with the underfoot, which is their face reflection in the first place. But that's another story. But anyway, so going back to over here, which is Job 9 and Job 9 and what was that? No, that's Ezekiel. Job 9 and yeah. Oh. Job 9. Oh yeah, 4. Job 9 and 4. It says here, he is wise in heart and mighty in strength, who had hardened himself against him and had prospered. Oh yeah, that's what I was looking for. Damn. Romans 9 and 18. Therefore he had mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will he hardeneth. That's what he did with Pharaoh. You can't fight his will. You can try if you want to. 19. Thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who had resisted his will? Why you made me like this? So why do you blame me for the things that I do? You made me like this. That's what a person would say. Verse 20. Nay, but O man, who art thou that repliest against the Most High? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? And why you make me a girl? I want to be a man. And vice versa. The Most High framed you in the body, he'd be like, you put me in the wrong body. Really? Okay. So you're questioning him again, right? It's not a good idea. You're going to find out, though, in the end. And Isaiah 29 and 16 also talks about it. The upside down thing. The thing that they framed it because they think like, oh, you're wrong. Okay. That's why you're upset with yourself. Because you don't even accept yourself. You accept the delusion of self. Anyway, Job chapter 9 verse 5. Which removeth the mountains, and they know not. Because they be, what happened? Which overrunneth them in his anger. And the mountains is talking about the mountains that he removes, because they show you that the mountain is talking about the government, because they show you that let me read that for you. For example, you have the destroy. Hey, wait. Follow now. Zechariah chapter 8. Zechariah chapter 8, right? Zechariah chapter 8, verse 3, right? And it says right here. Oh yeah, I was thinking about the destroying mountain. Thou art the destroying mountain, which is Jeremiah chapter 51. That was the destroying mountain. If I'm correct, it was 51. But anyway, that's talking about the government of Esau. Well, nowadays it's talking about the government of Esau. He is that destroying mountain. And the Most High said, he that destroyed the earth, I will destroy him. Damn. The page is just taking. Right with him. Got it. It let loose. So Zechariah 8 and 3, thus saith Yahawah, I am returned unto Zion, which is in Jerusalem, which is Bethlehem, by the way. 1 Kings chapter 8 or 9, verse 1. So 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 1, it shows you that Zion is actually the city of David. And the city of David is Bethlehem, where Yahushua was born. That's the city of David. In the land of Moriah. And on Mount Moriah, you have the temple of where the Ark of the Covenant was in, which is shifted from the tabernacle tent to the temple, and then which the Sidonians helped fix stuff, and the temple of Zerubbabel, also Cyrus actually funded them with gold, silver, and all these type of things, but they didn't want help building it when they came back into the land because these were our enemies. Cyrus was not our enemy, so we accepted the things from him because he was the anointed of the Lord, and the prince of Tyre was the anointed too. Esau is the anointed too. he's the appointed anointed devil. So that's that part. He's the anointed, appointed vessel fitted to destruction. Romans 9. I didn't write it. I just quoted it. Anyway, so Zechariah 8 and 3. Thus saith Yahawah, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth, and the mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain. So, the Jacob descent, well, the land, but if you think about it, it's kind of double fault. It's actually triple fault, but it's double fault in the sense that Jerusalem actually had the land of Moriah, the mountain of Moriah was there. That's Jerusalem, and it was called Jebusi, which is the Jebusites were there. It was called that, and First Chronicles chapter 21 shows you that Malak Dawat, which is King David, he actually bought the land from a Jebusite. So it shows you that the Jebusites had that land, Jerusalem. They had it. And then he bought it. Fair and square. He paid them too. 400 gold shekels, if I'm correct, according to the king's measurement. And a Jacob descendant might get like 10 shekels a year, something like that. 10 shekels a year, if I'm correct. The book of Judges chapter 17 shows you that. A wager, like a wages or something, like a pager wages, something like that, salary of a Jacob descendant. But it also went on agreement, you know? Just like with the penny, with the guy in the book of the New Testament. The man gave a penny to people that worked 9 hours, people that worked 6 hours, people that worked 3 hours, and people that worked only a few hours. He gave them all the pennies because he was that was his deal. That is what he wanted to do. So it does depend on the person, but according to the scriptures, it says the shekel measurement after the sanctuary, like the shekel of the sanctuary, and the other one is the shekel of the king's weight. So you had different amounts of money. But anyway, he paid them 400 golden shekels, which is beyond a fortune. Remember, you get only 10 shekels a year. The book of Judges 17 shows you that. So he gave him like 400 something. This guy was, he probably didn't know what to do with it. And you know what the funny thing is? He didn't even want the money. But Malak Dawad, King David said, he said, nah, you gonna take it. Not in a threatening, forcing way, but he did give him the money. He was like, no, I'm not gonna take it for free. You're gonna have to take this money. Because he said, like, I'm not taking anything free that I dedicate into the Most High. I'm gonna pay for it. Here you go, take this money. It was 400 something. Maybe I'm wrong with the number, but you can read 1 Chronicles chapter 21 yourself if you have the time. And you can also read Judges chapter 17 for yourself if you have the time. So I did videos about it, so you can you can check out the other channel and stuff like that. But if it is so to be, you'll find it anyway. I don't have to say it. You're gonna find it if it is to be. So Zechariah chapter 8 verse I already read that. So the mountain is talking about the government. So going back to Job 9, right? Which is Job 9 and 5. So the Most High, which removeth the mountains, and they know not. Because them governments, they don't know what the hell happened. They only know that, hey, our kingdom is falling. If you see Esau right about now, he don't know what the hell's going on. He's like, why is everything getting expensive? Because the Most High is setting the leaders. He's setting up the leaders against the people. And therefore, just like how you had Jacob descendant leaders back in the days, Ezra chapter 9, for example, right? You had the leaders that were behind a lot of shit, you know, to destroy the rest of the people, to destroy them. The leaders were behind it. And if you read first Ezra, it shows you again, it was the leaders of Jacob that was bullshit. And Jeremiah 34, it was the leaders again. The rulers, leaders, the false prophets, the eunuchs, the false ones, the false teachers, all of them. They was in a rulership status, and they're the one that actually caused Israel to sin even more than they already were doing. But that's the same thing that Esau's doing right now onto their own people. That's why you see what you see around here. You see the alphabet people, you see all type of manner of crazy stuff, man. You know, I'm looking for this documentary, right? I lost it. I can't find it no more. But I know that I remember it very good, but I just can't remember the name. But it was talking about this. It was showing you artifacts of how it used, not artifacts, that was it was showing you on historical facts, not artifacts, sorry, historical facts. It shows you that in the beginning, especially the hippie time, people was for being free and saw love and all that type of shit, and the government was beating them down. The things that they didn't like, it was beating them down and stuff like that. And they also said, like, for example, the AIDS thing. Didn't they say it came from the sodomites and stuff like that? Didn't they say it? No, they don't say it no more. Like, hey, you guys, AIDS. They don't say it no more. Why? Because they flipped the script. They actually make it seem as if it's now something good. Nobody talking about AIDS no more. Because back in the days, as soon as you hear gay people, you'd be like, AIDS? Huh? You know, that fear is kicked into you. Which shows you that shit didn't came from them, man. That shit came from the laboratory. Come here, let me Tuskegee syphilis experiment your ass. Boom. Let me smallpox blanket you. Hey, almost dropped. Don't want this camera to drop right here. Yeah, let me blanket you. You're looking kind of cold today. Let me warm you up with these fancy blankets over here. You know, I got beautiful things up on the blankets. They thick. I don't think it's warm. Didn't need it. I've been surviving here for a few hundred years before you came. Oh, I know you don't need it, but I want you to have it. You're a good people. Oh, don't worry about that. It's probably the cold. Right? Or maybe some, I don't know, some windy sand came by a tote. Something like that. Anyway, so it says right here, Job chapter 9 verse 5, which removeth the mountains, and they know not, which overturneth them in his anger. And the Most High said, when a city angers him, he will. Let me get that for you. You see, oh man, I can't even trust the wind right now, because I see it wants to rain hard. Anyway. I see it wants to actually, because it's getting windy. It's hell. So Ezekiel 14 and 13. Son of man, when the land sinned against me by trespassing grievously, and I just thought about another one. When the people, the kingdom is translated into another people, when they're full of wickedness and stuff like that. Anyway, Ezekiel 14 and 13. Son of man, when the land sinned against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the staff thereof. Oh, wait. And will break the staff of the bread thereof. Sorry. He did that to us in the book of Isaiah chapter 3, verse 1 on down. Now he's doing it with Esau. You know how many Edomites were starving? They starving like Marvin. Starving Marvin. Anyway, so it says right here, and I will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. So when you see somebody starving, that used to be great, I giggle. I giggle. Almost like a little. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse. And Isaiah chapter 10 also says the same thing. They that were fat, they turn lean. Oh goddamn. This shit again. Oh shit. Anyway. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 5. They that were full have hired out themselves for bread. So they used to live fat. Now they skinny. Now they be like, hey, let me work for you, man, because I need the food. So they that were full have hired out themselves for bread. And they that were hungry ceased. Jacob is starving right now. You know, but we full in the belly, in the spirit. You know, that belly shall be full and with water and stuff like that. Man shall not live by water and bread alone, but every word that cometh out the Most High. So, James chapter 2 and 5 says that we are poor. No. We are rich in faith, but poor in the physical form. So, yeah. Anyway, when you're poor, you ain't got no food. But we got the food. The scriptures. And with the power of Yahawah, Basham Yahushai, you're going to get food too. Even the birds, raven birds, is going to bring food for you. So Yahweh is not we ain't worried about. Lord willing, I'm not worried about that. Let me finish it. Job 9 and sorry, 1 Samuel 2 and 5. They that were full have hired out themselves for bread, and they that were hungry ceased. God damn. So that the barren had borne 7. And she that had many children is waxed feeble, because your children are your strength. That's why the firstborn of a Jacob man, the firstborn is his strength. So children are your strength, because they're going to take care of you. They're going to bring forth the legacy. That's why when you pass away, you leave one as yourself. Your copy, your duplicate is left behind. He that teaches his son grieveth his enemy. I can't scream over this, man. As soon as I can't scream over this shit. Fuck. I'm gonna try. I hope I don't get copy strike, because they did that, man. It wasn't my music. It was the music from somebody else, and then they said like, but I didn't get the copy strike. I got they said, oh, but you could use it. Yeah, but still, it's in the thing. I don't want it to be there. I didn't get the strike, but they did warn me, not warn me. They told me about it. Like, hey, you use such and such music, but we're gonna allow it. I didn't use this music. I don't even know what that shit was. Anyway, Job 9 and 5, which removeth mountains, and they know not, because they don't know what the hell is happening, or why their kingdom is fallen. Fuck it. Which removeth mountains, and they know not, which overturneth them in his anger. Verse 6, Job 9 and 6, which shaketh the earth out of her place, and the pillars tremble, therefore tremble. Let me read it again. Which shaketh the earth out of her place, and the pillars thereof tremble. That's the stability. Because the Most High, He's doing that right now with Esau by making their economy unstable. He trembles their stability. They don't know their future anymore. They're second guessing it, questioning it. They're not stable. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 1 through 3. I smell fireworks right down there. Damn. Job 9 and 6, which shaketh the earth out of her place, and the pillars thereof tremble. So, the stability of the earth, the Most High is shaking it up. You make it to where things are unstable. People that used to be fat, He make them skinny. People that used to be skinny, He make them living good. Verse 7, which commanded the sun, and it riseth not, and sealeth up the stars. He can do that. He did it in